Become unbreakable. Exploring Stoic resilience in the face of challenges. Hello there, competent mind. Life offers no guarantees. At times, hardship falls like rain, inevitable and outside our control. Tragedies disrupt the smooth road we presumed was ahead. Our plans crumble and the little stability we thought we had vanishes. While it's true that we must face challenges, how do we gain the power to overcome our problems without breaking them down? How do we survive and even thrive when the odds are against us? To answer these questions, we need to look back to the teachings of ancient Stoic philosophers. These wise sages, through their own experiences, have passed down certain principles to help guide us through our journey toward building a resilient spirit. Today, we will explore how to cultivate Stoic resilience in the face of challenges. Before we dive into detail, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell to get alerted anytime we post amazing videos like this. 1. Focus on what you can control. Stoic philosophers, such as Epictetus, taught that we should not waste time and energy worrying about things outside of our control. This includes situations that have already happened, things other people do or say, as well as outcomes we cannot directly influence. Instead, we should focus our efforts on what we can control, our own thoughts, attitudes, and actions. By taking responsibility for our inner state and behavior, we gain the power to shape our experience of life. For example, we cannot control whether we lose a job, but we can control how we respond to it. Do we sink into despair or view it as an opportunity? Do we resent our past employers or thank them for the lessons? Our reactions, mindset, and next steps are within our realm of control. To know what falls within or outside of your influence, Stoics recommend clearly separating what is up to us and what is not up to us. Those things within our sphere of control are what we should devote our energy to. Calmly accepting those things outside of this sphere grants us more equilibrium. By focusing only on what you can control, you conserve mental bandwidth, operate from your zone of power, and experience less anguish over life's curveballs. 2. Cultivate inner peace. Material possessions, status, and the opinions of others can never bring you inner peace. True peace must come from within. Stoicism describes the ideal state of inner peace as being like the calm eye of a hurricane, steady, clear, and possessing an all-encompassing perspective, even while chaos and commotion swirl on the outside. Regular meditation and mindfulness training can help cultivate this state of inner stillness. As we witness the constant flux of thoughts and emotions flowing through our minds, we become less identified with each passing wave. We come to truly understand the transient nature of life. Gradually, we infuse our awareness with spacious equanimity. From this place of abiding peace, we gain the mental clarity to respond thoughtfully, rather than reflexively, to external triggers. We begin to experience events that once incited us to panic, rage, or despair through the lens of wisdom. Hardships become easier to bear. By anchoring ourselves to an inner sanctuary of calm, life's turbulence loses its power over us. 3. Practice self-discipline. Ancient Stoics understood that resilience requires training, specifically the ability to regulate your impulses and emotions instead of being controlled by them. They saw the cultivation of self-discipline as vital for withstanding adversity. Self-discipline involves deliberately practicing small acts of self-denial to strengthen your ability to endure hardship and delay gratification. For example, participating in intense physical exercise teaches you to push past pain and fatigue. Fasting teaches you to tolerate hunger. Taking cold showers every morning trains you to shrug off the discomfort. Avoiding certain luxuries or pleasures for a defined period builds your tolerance for lack. Of course, the real purpose is not to merely go without, but to use these exercises to incrementally expand your window of self-regulation. Each small act strengthens your discipline muscles, so that when real difficulties arise, you have the grit and fortitude to respond effectively, rather than being overwhelmed. Think of it as inoculation. By introducing small doses of mild toxicity in the form of voluntary hardship, you develop immunity against larger hardships when they inevitably come. The mastery and self-control you've cultivated translate to emotional regulation, so you can endure grief, frustration, and fear without losing composure. 4. Learn to embrace adversity. A distinctive Stoic mindset shift is to stop perceiving obstacles and difficulties as inherently bad, and instead see them as opportunities for growth. Where a regular person sees catastrophe and a tragedy, the Stoic sees a chance to test their character. Each adversity presents a training ground to practice principles like courage, self-control, and wisdom. For example, being unfairly blamed for something offers you the opportunity to respond calmly and tactfully, with compassion towards the accuser. Suffering injustice helps you empathize with those treated unfairly. Facing failure gives you a chance to reevaluate your goals. Of course, the Stoics weren't masochists who sought suffering for its own sake. They simply aimed to adopt a brave, creative, and therapeutic perspective toward the inevitable hardships life throws at us. Confronted with obstacles, they shifted their mindset from why me to let's see what I can learn here to how can I grow from this. They embraced adversity as a teacher rather than a misfortune. This mental maneuver enormously takes the emotional sting out of difficulties. Hardships become interesting experiments full of useful data rather than senseless, unfair torture. By welcoming adversity, you can gain incredible mental resilience. 5. Control your perception. Nothing has meaning except the meaning we give to it. Two people can experience the exact same event, yet perceive it entirely differently because of the narrative and judgments the mind layers onto it. For instance, getting passed over for a promotion can be perceived as a catastrophe that proves you are worthless and incompetent, or it can be viewed as an indication that you need to improve your skill sets, or maybe a stepping stone towards finding a career path better suited to your talents. The event itself is neutral. It simply happened. How you interpret it shapes your subjective experience. The stories we subconsciously spin create our reality, leading us to feel angry, victimized, offended, or upset about things that are, in themselves, value neutral. Pay careful attention to the judgments and internal commentary your mind projects onto people and events. Ask yourself, is this thought empowering and aligned with my values, or does it stem from unexamined, fear-based assumptions? Consciously rewrite disempowering narratives and reframe how you perceive situations. For example, reinterpret a difficulty as temporary rather than permanent, specific rather than pervasive. Look at it as something that happens rather than something being done to you intentionally. This shifts your stance from being a helpless victim to a capable agent facing a solvable problem. 6. Develop emotional resilience. Cultivating Stoic resilience involves strengthening your ability to fully experience negative emotions without being completely overwhelmed by them. Destructive emotions like grief, fear, and anger are inevitable in life. A resilient individual allows themselves to feel these emotions completely without over-identifying with them or getting entangled for too long. As an emotion intensifies, consciously expand your perspective to prevent getting consumed. Say to yourself, I feel intense anger, grief, anxiety right now, but this is just one part of my experience. Recognize that you are not identical to the emotion itself. You are simply the space in which it flows, to be examined, learned from, and eventually released. Emotional resilience means moving through turmoil without resisting it or losing yourself within it. Allow the feelings their natural expression through crying or even screaming. But prevent yourself from being completely hijacked into rash action by destructive impulses. Maintain the overall perspective of the observer who grasps the bigger picture. 7. Keep moving forward no matter what. An essential component of resilience is perseverance, the ability to keep taking steps in a constructive direction, no matter what hardship befalls you. Stoic philosophers understood that falling into helpless suffering or resignation during times of tragedy is human, but not useful. They encouraged us to grieve losses fully, Then begin the process of recovery and rebuilding. When confronted with failures and setbacks, resist the urge to collapse in self-pity. Instead, summon the inner resolve to make the smallest forward increment of progress possible given the circumstances. Maybe you start by getting out of bed, brushing your teeth, and eating a healthy meal after a particularly devastating loss. From there, move to the next tiny improvement you can achieve today. During times when all your plans unravel unexpectedly, take a deep breath to stabilize. Then slowly start making alternative plans and taking pragmatic actions to advance a step at a time. Even if everything falls apart 100 times, make 101 new plans. Gritting your teeth and inching forward, despite seismic challenges, puts you back in the driver's seat. Progress begins the moment you decide to meet misfortune with creativity and unbreakable perseverance, rather than resignation. Small steps accumulate into transformation. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. 8. Surround yourself with people who truly care about you. People thrive through social connections. During times of adversity, compassionate support from people who genuinely want the best for you is invaluable. Their empathy, encouragement, and presence can keep you from collapsing. When you share joy, it doubles, while shared sorrow halves. Whenever you are struggling, find people in your circle willing to listen and comfort you without judgment. Let them stand by you and provide the support you need to keep pushing forward. Receiving care and understanding from cherished friends and family members takes the edge off suffering. It reminds you that you are not alone. Beyond acting as a sympathetic ear, these individuals actively have your back. They check in and notice any troubling signs if you start spiraling. They gently encourage you while respecting your boundaries. They point out dysfunctional patterns and will challenge you to grow. They also keep you accountable to your values and vision for your highest potential while being in your corner when the world seems against you. So, always invest in people who replenish your spirit with care, remind you of your light, and want nothing but the best for you. They are sources of strength. The journey to building resilience in the face of challenges is a tough but necessary one. So let these Stoic principles guide you on your way to becoming the best version of yourself. Do share your thoughts and opinions on this video with us in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, and turn on the notification bell to get notified anytime we post amazing videos like this.